Hey folks, today we're going to be servicing this Land Rover Discover 3 2007 2.7 TDV6 diesel model. So we're underneath the vehicle now. I have it raised up on the suspension to its max height, and I've put a pair of jack stands underneath just in case it decides to level itself or drop. There's no splash cover on the bottom of this vehicle. There was when it was new, but it was removed many years ago. If you have a cover, it's the first thing you'll have to take off. Then we're going to remove the drain plug, which is a 13mm head. There is an O-ring as part of the sump plug, so be careful to remove that washer or that O-ring that doesn't get lost in the oil if you're planning on reusing this. We're using a new one, so we don't mind if it drops into the oil pan. Now remove the oil filler cap and the engine cover. So our oil filter lives at the very top of the engine, so it's easy to get at. I'm going to put a cloth, an old rag around it, just so we don't get oil all over the engine when we pull it out. A cardboard box ready to put it into. It's a 32mm socket, 6-sided socket, and I'm going to crack that loose with a ratchet. And lift it out. To remove the oil filter, we can use a hook and put it inside the hole in the filter and give it a good pull, and it'll pop itself out. Can then clean out the oil filter housing, bit of brake clean and a rag just to make sure everything is clean. And we're also going to pop off the old seal or O-ring, as we'll be replacing that. So we've cleaned out the inside of the housing, and now we're going to put on our new seal. Now we're going to put a drop of engine oil just on this new seal. That'll mean it'll seat itself much easier without binding or twisting the seal. To install our new filter, we don't put it into the cap, we put the filter into the top of the oil cooler first of all. I'm going to put a little bit of oil on the O-ring, on the little nipple that's at the bottom of the filter. Then if we imagine our housing below as a clock face, we're going to put it with the nipple at about 8 o'clock, between 8 and 9 o'clock. So on the left hand side. So pop it down. And we'll be able to turn it slightly to feel where it sits in, and give it a little squeeze and it'll click itself home. We can then put our filter on. Our filter cap, sorry. And we can tighten that up. As we tighten it up there, we can just hear it and feel it click, the top of the element click into place on the cap. And then we're going to finish it with our ratchet. If you have a torque wrench, it's 25 Newton meters. It's written on the top of the cap. And that's it seated. So we're going to put our new drain plug in now. I've put a little bit of oil on the O-ring again, so it seats easily. I'm going to do it up by hand, making sure not to cross thread it. And then I'm going to use a ratchet just to nip it up nice and tight. The specs are 25 Newton meters if you want to use a torque wrench. A little bit of brake clean and a rag just to dry things off, and means you'll be able to spot a leak if you ever do have a leak. We can pop our engine cover back on now. It takes 5.7 litres of 5W30 oil, this particular engine. So I bought a service kit and it came with 6 1 litre oil containers, so we're going to put in 5 of them, check our levels and top up till we get to the right mark then.